Howdy-ho, Andrew here. Welcome to the Onion Buns and welcome to Let's Talk Oilers. So this is the Oilers versus Minnesota recap, December 20, 2025, game 36, pre-show. So right off the bat, as I've said in other videos, Saturdays are the worst day of the week for me to film. So I'm getting around to this at about 20 minutes to midnight. So it's not going to be a long recap, which is probably a good thing with how this game turned out. All right, so big news is Jari is on the IR. He's not available to us for a week now. Pickard gets a start. Ingram called up to be the backup. This is the worst case scenario for the Oilers. Jari lasted 2.5 games as an Oiler before getting injured. Pickard has been solid when the team plays well in the defensive zone, but has struggled huge this season when left hung out to dry. So it's all about how the team plays in front of him. Ingram has not been good in Bakersfield this season, and honestly, he's kind of a surprise he's a call-up because he hasn't been the better Bakersfield goalie. Now, I don't watch any of the Bakersfield games, honestly, but from everything I've heard, our other goalie, I don't even know his name, I think it's Tompkins or something like that, he's been the better of the two goalies, so it's really quite surprising that Ingram got the call-out, and it sounds like Ingram will get the Sunday game against Vegas. Otherwise, the lineup stays exactly the same as it was last game. Oilers traditionally do not fare well in these matinee games, so this should be interesting. Period 1, Wild goal at 16-18. Ekholm tries to hold the blue line. Minnesota steals the puck for a breakaway, 1-0 Minnesota. Oilers penalty at 10:07. Leon cross-checking. It was a weak cross-check, but he got called for it. He didn't like getting called for it, so he beaked off to the referee, and he picked up an unsportsmanlike as well. So it's a 4-minute power play for Minnesota. Minnesota goal, 9:04. Power play goal, 2-0 for Minnesota, and Minnesota still has a 2-minute power play. Leon needs to learn to keep his temper in check. I know it's frustrating to get called on a cheap, soft call, but it's more frustrating for the fans if you give the opposing team a 4-minute power play when it should have only been a 2-minute power play. Oiler goal at 6:25. Mangiapane from Bouchard and Leon. Leon gets the puck in the corner, passes to Bouchard, who does a low-risk shot. Mangiapane does the perfect tip. 2-1 for Minnesota. Wild penalty at 2:50, interference. Oilers goal at 1:15, McDavid from Leon and Hyman. It was a mad scramble in front of the Wild's net. McDavid tucks it in. 2-2. And then a wild goal at 6 seconds left in the period. Minnesota gets behind the defense and tips the puck in. 3-2 for Minnesota. And that was the end of the first. Shots on goal were 15-16 Minnesota. 3-2 is the score for Minnesota. 31 shots in the first period. Oilers were not playing defense. Minnesota wasn't playing defense. This was free-for-all hockey, and I know people find this exciting, but this is how we lose. This is how we lose, especially with Pickard and even more so tomorrow with Ingram. The Oilers cannot take periods off defensively. They have to protect their goalies if they want any chance of winning. Now, Pickard did amazing, only letting 2 goals in on 15 shots, or 16 shots. You know, he was phenomenal, but he shouldn't be facing 16 shots in one period. Ever. Second period, Wild penalty at 18:54, hooking, and that's really all that happened in the second period, believe it or not. It was a defensive period, so I guess somebody yelled at the Oilers in the first intermission because the shots on net at the end of the second were 21-26 for Minnesota, so Edmonton only got 6 shots in that period, and Minnesota got another 10 shots, but it stayed 3-2. For Minnesota. So what I wrote was a tight checking defensive period. Nothing much to speak about. Pickard was solid and neither team really pushed hard. Third period could be interesting, especially if the Oilers can tie it up early. Third period, Wild goal at 10:52. Pickard makes 2 big saves, but Bouchard and Ekholm fail to clear first or second rebounds. Minnesota gets the second rebound and tucks it in. 4-2 for Minnesota. Again, Pickard made the first 2 saves. That's all you can ask of any goalie. He made the saves. He needed his defense to clear those rebounds, and they didn't. And a Minnesota player got behind him again and tucked it in. Pickard is pulled at 3:45 remaining in the third period for the empty net. So the Oilers are 6 on 5. And Minnesota goal at 1:25, empty net goal. 5-2 Minnesota. And that was the end of the game. Shots on goal were 37 for Minnesota. Minnesota wins 5-2. So right off the bat, I don't think we got more than 5 shots at the mid-level or higher on the Minnesota netminder. And you've heard me talk about this for multiple games now, is the Oilers are in their shoot on the ice mode, and that's what this game was again. They were shooting low, and Gustafsson was, like everybody's gushing. Oh, Gustafsson was so good. I don't think he was all that good. He was good. I'm not going to take this. He was better than Wallstad was, and Wallstad got a shutout the last time Minnesota played. But Gustafsson actually was tested more than Wallstad was. So that's a bonus. But still, we only had 5 or maybe 6 shots at the top half of the net. Everything else was on the bottom, on the ice level. And you're just not going to score in the NHL doing that. You need, and I've said this before, you need 6 out of 10 shots to the upper part of a net. 60 to 70% of your shots need to be to the upper part of the net. And this is for 2 reasons. One, the upper part of the net in the modern day NHL is the high percentage scoring opportunities. The lower part of the net is the low percentage scoring opportunities. But the other reason is if you are putting 6 to 7 shots at the top, the goalies read that and they start covering the top, which opens up the bottom for you to put those low shots in. But if you're just going to shoot low, most goalies in this league, unless you're that Toronto goalie, are going to stop you 9 times out of 10. To me, that's the biggest issue in this game and the ongoing issue for 4 straight games now. Oilers have no desire to test goalies with high percentage shots and instead trying to force low percentage shots on ice level. Most nights against good goalies, that's not going to work, and it didn't today. Said before, to score in the NHL, this era, 6 to 7 shots out of 10 need to be directed at the top of the net. Oilers have great success when they do that. Like we've seen it. When they're shooting high, this is when they're putting up 6, 7, 8 goals. But for some reason, they get in this stupid mindset that they only want to shoot low. They just refuse to do that nightly. I really do not know what it's going to take for the Oilers to embrace this simple truth. In the end, Minnesota was the better team today. Calvin Pickard was really strong in net, despite allowing 4 goals against. In the end, Oilers were way too loose and sloppy defensively in the first, and Bouchard and Ekholm not clearing the first or second rebound on the 4th goal did us in. Plus, we really do not fare well in matinee games. Like, I'm not making this up. You go back and you look. Our record in matinee afternoon games on weekends is atrocious. And it's not just this team, it goes back over a decade. I don't know what it is, but they just don't, the organization just has never played well in matinee games. I'd like to say this game was winnable, but it wasn't if the team was not going to shoot high percentage locations. Gustafsson was on his game today. You needed to go for those high percentage shots, and they didn't. And it's really that simple. Oilers are now 17-13-6. Next game is Sunday versus Vegas, 6 p.m. on Sportsnet. As for the Stars, first star is Leon, 2 assists. Madge Pawnee, 1 goal, and McDavid, 1 goal. As for the Slugs, I'm not going to pick on any players. I'm just going to say not clearing rebounds and not shooting to the high percentage areas. Those are the 2 Slugs. And that's my recap. Like I said, it's a short one today because Saturdays really are the worst day of the week for me to be filming. So if you like the video, leave a like, a subscribe, and a share. I'm trying to grow my channel, and a like, a subscribe, and a share does me wonders, and I do appreciate it. Takes 1 second to subscribe, costs you absolutely nothing, helps me immensely. Just hit the subscribe button on the bottom of the screen. If you're watching this on Rumble, please follow my channel. Always feel free to leave a comment. I encourage everybody to leave a comment. Please come in. Tell me, what did you think? What did you see? What do we need to do? Also, leaving a comment really does help me with the YouTube algorithm and getting more eyes on my videos. And as always, pew 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 and shit. Thanks for watching. Have a great day. Bye.